Being in the US, there was a lot of teaching and inspiration on real estate and creating wealth generation, and learning that and seeing that, okay, there's an avenue to start a sustainable business by providing places for people to stay. People are staying in overpriced hotels in comparison to what they have in the US, right? So why not create those avenues for them? My partner, Maya, came into Ghana with the idea or the plan, and this was actually the home I grew up in, like first lived in Ghana. So always had the home, and it was just not in use. The full refurbishment that's compared to building from brick and mortar.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joe Hotagua from Authentic African. And if you want to know what it's like to own property here in Accra, Ghana, then this is the video for you. All right, so I am here with Joe Kitzmills, the founder and CEO of Magnate Realty. He's gonna talk to us about the property, the company Magnate Realty, and what you should expect when you're coming to Ghana and you're looking for a place to stay. So let's get right into it. All right, so we're here with Joe. So first of all, I wanna thank you for doing this. Go stay here. So Joe, as I mentioned, is the CEO of Magnate Realty, and he and I are partnering together with my competitor site to Airbnb. If you have any questions about that, it'll be in the description below. But I wanted to talk to you so people can get a chance to know a little bit about you. If they're gonna be staying in your location, I think it's always good to hear from the person who owns it. You know, you guys don't get that with Airbnb or any of the other sites, booking.com, etc., but you'll have that here with us. So I do like to start with your background, a little bit about you, so people can get a little bit about you before we talk about the business as a whole. So first of all, where were you born and where were you raised?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me. So, Joseph Kitzmills, born and raised here in Accra, Ghana. Spent about 10 years here before moving to Atlanta. Spent most of I did high school in Atlanta, grew up there, did college up in Rhode Island. Then, right after college, moved back to Ghana and hit the ground running. Background is in finance, know a bit of French. Then I got into entrepreneurship, mainly into construction, realty, some art, as you can see, some art curating as well. There's consulting and just overall just surviving and doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah, I would say one of the themes that I felt with Ghana that's different from my own country, Sierra Leone, and I talk about this all the time, is you guys have this system of people going away to get knowledge and schooling elsewhere, see a different world, and then coming back home and building hope.
Yes.
Not only building through the process of starting a business, but literally physically building. One of the challenges we had in Sierra Leone is people wait until their retirement age before they start building. You as a young man built the property we're sitting on right now. So what gave you the idea to start this process of building here?
Being in the US, there was a lot of teaching and inspiration on real estate and creating wealth generation and value group creation. I do real estate. And learning that and seeing that, okay, there's an avenue to start a sustainable business by providing places for people to stay at relatively affordable rates, right? Why not something to replicate here? Because as you remember, during the year of return, there's an influx of traffic coming in. Yes, people were staying in overpriced hotels. They didn't have the accommodation, access to accommodation in comparison to what they had in the US, right? So why not create those avenues for them? So I had my partner, Maya. She came into Ghana with the idea or the plan to create housing and provide opportunities for African Americans to have access to the real estate market here in Ghana, and doing that through her own experience being here. And off the back of that, I thought about, okay, why not go into the construction and building apartments, studio apartments, or 1 beds, 2 beds that people can access and rent them at affordable rates. Airbnb was picking up, bookings was picking up, and you had avenues to showcase your places. Yeah, so this is how the Cottage came about.
Nice, shout out to Maya. Maya's the one who made the introduction, and you guys might remember I've interviewed Maya twice on the platform. Actually 3 times. We've done 2 live streams, and then we did an interview in person here in Accra, Ghana. And then we also did some tours of some units when she was here working as a realtor in Ghana. So, you know, it's always good to make those connections. You never know who you're gonna meet through those conversations that you have. So You mentioned that, you wanted to do something that folks can come and stay in. I came for the year of return. And I happen to have a friend who had a friend who owned a house. So 7 of us stayed in a house, but everyone else I talked to stayed in all the expensive hotels. And of course, those rates were way up. And most people stay for a week, 2 weeks, and they spent, $2,000, over $1,000 just on where they were staying for that time frame. And that's just not sustainable if you want to be here for a period of time as 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even if you want to come at another point in time of the year, it's still not sustainable. So I think it's really important to have places like this. And especially if you're planning on potentially moving here, if you want to get an idea of what it's like to live here, cannot stay in a hotel, right? You'll need to be staying in a dwelling that feels like a house. So on that note, I did want to talk to you a little bit about what units are here on the property. So what do you have in terms of room sizes and the number of bedrooms in each one?
Okay, so we're currently sitting on land mass-wise in about plot and a half. Okay, I have 3 apartments currently. I have 3 studios and 1 3-bedroom. Okay, I currently have long lets in all of the studios. All the other studios are open on Airbnb, and I have a 3-bed. So each studio is sitting on roughly about 50 to 60 square meters. But the 3-bed is about 300 square meters.
Got it. I don't know what that number is in square footage, but we'll put that on the screen below. For those of you Americans, we don't know meters, we only know square feet. But I will tell you, we'll get a chance to walk around and see them, so you'll know. Okay, so cool. So we talked about the size of the units, we talked about the space here, we talked about the reason why you started it. You know what else I wanted to ask you? Coming from living in the States and moving back to Ghana, what were some of the differences that you saw in how real estate is done living in the States versus living here?
Turnkey solutions. Okay, turnkey in the sense where I wish I had access to an entity or company that would come in and do a full fit out. There are people that are doing it currently, but doing it myself, I have to go find the plumbing, I have to go find the electrician, and the electricals myself, do all the cost, take all of that, since those are built by myself. So as compared to engaging with contractors would only focus on the shell and core building. So and another entity for doing the interiors. Having access to a turnkey like in the US where you come in and they do everything. They were on a plan that you have a full budget, nothing is really out of place or scary, right? Budgeting wise, as compared to being here, a lot of things are priced in US dollars in the Ghanaian conversion to cedis. So because it's pegged to the dollar, when the CD is depreciating, all these things are going up in price, it messes up with your valuations and your pricing. So, they're not able to have a fixed budget because you need some flexibility from where these things do have it, right? So having access to turnkey is amazing, readily available workers, etc. So having access to these electricians, to these plumbers, having a Home Depot, for instance, right? For us, we have to go to various places in Accra as compared to going to one place where it's a one-stop shop, right? That's one of the favorite difficulties that we've had, and people are adhering to time when getting this work done for themselves. So I know that, hey, my guys coming in to do work, you're going to be working from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and they stick to it. Aspects of chasing down these guys, try and get things done.
Yes.
Your project ends up taking longer to complete. I was trying to complete by Christmas of 2024. I didn't end up completing it about February for 2025 or 2025. So that's, and it ruins the projections, the plans, and
income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100% understand. I've been working on a build for 5 years, so I know. I've been through it. So in essence, Sierra Leone, different country, but similar sensibilities, right? So when did you start construction here?
So I started construction in October of 2024.
Oh, so October 2024, you finished in February 2025.
So backstory, this was actually the home I grew up in, first lived in Ghana.
Okay.
So always had the home and it was just not in use. The full refurbishment as compared to building from brick and mortar.
Okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense. You know about that? So this used to be one space, just one house. Okay, and then you turned it into separate, it's basic. I got you. Okay, so the other question I wanted to ask you about was the difference in building materials. In the States, they use drywall and different kinds of materials. One of the things that comes up a lot, and there was a viral video last year, there was a European guy talking about the builds in West Africa or in Africa in general versus in the States or in Europe. I think that's one of the benefits to how we build here.
Yes.
The structural integrity because of what's being built. Can we talk a little bit about what building materials you're using here versus what we use in the States?
So over here in Ghana, straight cement, brick and mortar. We don't really use any wood. We don't really use drywalls. Most of our walls are solid, right? So because of that, we don't have some of the issues that happen in the US. There's a lot of wood, dry wood, or like a prefabricated structure, right? Sense. So it does hold for integrity-wise. So homes here are lasting over 50, 60 years. Yeah. So the home I'm currently living in has been there for 60 years for the rent and minimal issues to the structural integrity of it. So, and luckily we are blessed to have access to these as well. Yeah, no about it.
Yeah, and I will say, I've seen a building that was semi-destroyed from a fire, but the full building was still intact. It was just empty, right? It was a full-fledged fire.
Yes.
In the US, when you see a fire to consume a building, most of the building collapses, right? And you maybe have somewhat of the first floor available. I saw a building that was 3 stories high and it was just empty, but the integrity of the building was still there, which I think is a big testament to the way we structure the builds here. Okay, cool. So, I think we could just go, I think we can just end on this. What do you want to tell people who are looking for a place to stay?
Yes.
And why they should stay here at the Cottage?
Okay, amazing. Personally, coming back to Accra, you want to make sure you're getting access to the same level of comfort that you have in the US. Yes. Sometimes a bit lower, sometimes better, depending on what your budget is.
Sure.
So at the Cottage, the main thing for me is giving you ease of access. So internet-wise, fiber internet for each and every apartment. We have dedicated staff. So I have a dedicated property manager, I have dedicated cleaners on ground, a facilities manager, standby generator for when there's power outages because we are in Africa. Sure. I also have a standby chef because some people do prefer to eat at-home meals. So I can have a meal curated for you in that respect as a part of your package staying here. Then, because I'm into the arts and events, a lot of things that we may be doing will tie into the Cottage. So we are sharing you and let you know what we have going on in Accra outside of telling the main things that are popping up. And also happy to have a liquor store as well. So if you do need your wine, you do need your drinks, it can always get delivered to you here. You have a little workspace that we're currently sitting in as well for anyone that want to work remotely, where you have your peace of mind, focus, don't want to worry outside of the Accra and bus.
There it is. There it is. And where can people find the location?
So we are the Cottage on Google Maps, the Cottage on Instagram. You can find us on Magnate Realty as well on Instagram.
Nice. Well, thank you again for doing this. I appreciate it, Joe. And thank you guys for watching. If you watched it this far and you found this interesting, hit that thumbs up. If you had any questions that I didn't ask, put them in the comments below. And again, the link to where you can find the location and how you can book this location is in the description below. Also, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time a new video comes out. And with that, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. All right, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like, comment, and share it with your friends. All right, see you on the next video.